Okay, we win the game. Or, sorry, we win the die roll. Getting a little ahead of myself here. So, here in round 3, we are on the play with a hand that I'm going to mulligan. And this hand is also definitely a mulligan. And now I wish I could go back to the first one, but whatever. Okay, this hand is a turn 1 Chalice on the play. Alright, we're going to keep. We're going to put that one on the bottom. So, what do you think, audience? Should we just try and slam down a turn 1 Chalice on 1? Or should we wait to see if we can get a Blood Moon? We'll just pass. I think. Hmm. How do we want to try and win this? Do I think that we can win the game without Blood Moon? Do we need to try and get a turn 1 Chalice going on? You know, we'll just pass. Let's see what our opponent is doing. If we're going to look very, very, very smart or very dumb. Okay. So we, in fact, end up looking pretty smart by waiting, because now we can exile, cast Blood Moon. Fingers crossed. We're going to F6. Okay. No! My opponent stole my technology! My opponent stole my technology from the Invitational. Now I look like a fool. Rats. Alright, well, lesson learned, Bant Eldrazi is the best deck in Modern. I shouldn't have done a video with a deck that loses to the Magic card Talisman of Progress that I specifically put in Bant Eldrazi. Rats. Alright. Well, that's disappointing. I do enjoy how Sun and Moon is just like a kind of deck where it's like, alright, you either win or you lose on the first 2 turns of the game. Thought Not Seer. Tilt. Tilt to tilt, tilt, tilt. Man, Talisman of Progress. What a blowout, right? Yeah. Alright, well, no more Helix. Alright, that's Arid Mesa. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, we'll cast the Chalice. Just sucks that with Talisman of Progress in play, our Blood Moon did literally nothing. But it does make me feel better as generally a Bant Eldrazi player. Makes me feel like, oh wow, I was really smart. Okay, well, we're dead here. So, cool. Matches are over in literal 4 minutes. Or, sorry, games are over in 4 minutes. Matches are over in like 8 minutes. Alright, we're going to board in another copy of Wrath of God. We're probably not going to want to play Blessed Alliance. Lightning Helix also strikes me as kind of medium. Let's see, what do we actually want here? Yeah, Elspeth is good. So do we want this another Anger of the Gods? I think the other Anger of the Gods is pretty reasonable, and I'm not convinced that I really want to change anything else. I'm not really going to. I don't really want to bring in Stony Silence to try and just beat one card Talisman, because it's just so bad against everything else. I'd rather just play like a normal game plan. So we're not going to bring in that, and we're going to just try it like this. I will play first. I will keep this hand. And we're going to just play a turn 3 Blood Moon and then hopefully follow it up with some Wrath of God effects. Sacred Foundry tapped. No, I will not pay 2 life. Opponent playing Yavimaya Coast into Stirrings. Classic Bant Eldrazi opener here. And our opponent is probably looking for a Talisman. Windswept Heath, okay. And now we're going to play an Arid Mesa. And then we're going to see what our opponent does. And we're going to crack this during our opponent's end step. Getting a Plains. Playing a Clifftop Retreat and a Blood Moon. Maybe our opponent has Stubborn Denial here. Or Negate. Alright, well. Now we're going to see what our opponent has next for us. Nothing. So now we're going to play a Plains and a Nahiri. And then Nahiri is going to tick up. We will discard Gemstoe Caverns, drawing Anger. We will go with a Chalice on 2 to shut off a Talisman from our opponent. And I will not discard anything. For Nahiri, I'll play this Plains and send it back. So, is our opponent just dead or what? I will search my library for an Emrakul. Attack my opponent. Alright, we win. That was fun. Not really, but, you know, it was cool, I guess. Alright, back for the third. Let's try and cast the Blood Moon. Man, isn't Magic great? These matches are over in literal 5 minutes. I think we need to mulligan this hand. It's too slow. This hand I will reluctantly keep. Hopefully we scry into a Simian Spirit Guide. Alright, that's a bad one. Gotta love Modern, right? Opponent will probably be naming Eldrazi. Maybe Human. Human's a good option. Yep. For Nobel Hierarch. And we have drawn a land. Okay. Our opponent is probably casting Sky Spawner, yep. We're going to get a Sacred Foundry. Maybe we'll draw Simian Spirit Guide. Oh, Lightning Helix, not a bad one. We will Helix that Noble Hierarch. Let's see. Maybe our opponent is going to sack the Scion to Thought-Knot us. Oh, more Hierarch action. Okay, attacking us for 3, and if our opponent doesn't have a land, we are going to slam that Anger of the Gods so fast it'll make your head spin. Yeah, we are going to chuck an Anger. And then we'll play a Blood Moon. Let's see what our opponent has. Nothing. Our opponent is probably pretty upset now. I would be if I were my opponent. We'll cast Blood Moon. Maybe our opponent has Disenchant. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But certainly they're not thrilled with the way this game is going. We've got Angers, so I don't know. Opponent is not drawing lands. We will play another Blood Moon. I don't really know what to expect at this point. All right, well, I'm going to jam a land and Gideon Jura. And we will start ticking it up. And that will hopefully bring an end to the game fairly quickly. I'm not sure that I'm going to attack into Path to Exile. So I'm just going to keep ticking up Gideon, creating basically an insurmountable wall. Tick up Gideon. And we'll just keep this going. I assume this Gideon is eventually going to get to a very high loyalty. Our opponent is very, very unlucky. But I'm not going to budge from my plan, as I really want this Gideon to lock my opponent out of ever being able to kill us. And our opponent again demonstrating that they are drawing way too many uncastables. Jesus, that's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's Nahiri. Tick up. I'll discard this Plains. Draw a Blood Moon, tick up. And the game is basically over now. So I expect our opponent will concede at this point. Oh, alright. There's an Engineered Explosives. Okay. Nahiri will tick up. I will discard Anger. Drawing a Chalice. I'm going to cast a Banishing Light. And we will exile this Engineered Explosives, and that's the match. Cool. Magic is fun. We'll be back next round, and see you then.